Chelsea are getting better and better every week. Today, Chelsea totally outplayed Barcelona. We break down this match in this video. They pressed Barcelona high for the entire match, not allowing them to build from the back into attack through short passes. Chelsea defended in a 4-1-4-1 shape. Chelsea were pressing Barcelona. Barcelona switched the ball to the goalkeeper. There was a free left back for Barcelona, to whom the goalkeeper could play the pass. But every time this Barcelona left back received the ball, Malo Gusto immediately appeared on him, closing him down and giving him absolutely no time to do anything. It was simply brilliant. Gusto pushed extremely high, denying any chance to have time or space to think, lift his head, or make a pass. By blocking forward passing lanes and space, Gusto forced the defender to play backwards, and Chelsea were trying to trap Barcelona on the flank with their press. Another interesting detail: whenever Barcelona switched the ball towards the opposite flank from Malo Gusto, Chelsea's right back, Gusto, would drop into the defensive line, playing deeper and essentially ignoring the Barcelona left back. But as soon as Barcelona switched the ball back to the left side, Gusto pushed up extremely high again. This detail, I think, decided a lot in this match. Such an aggressive and high pressing from Chelsea, and individually, Gusto performed incredibly well. A phenomenal defensive performance from Malo Gusto. And it wasn't just Gusto pushing up. Chelsea were deliberately orienting their press toward the flank, and on the flank they tried to suffocate Barcelona aggressively, and even a center-back stepping high wide to follow his opponent. Look how they tried to trap Barcelona's players on the flank. It didn't always work, and look at how Chelsea's defensive line is positioned now. Essentially, the holding midfielder is compensating the center-back zone. It's risky, but so aggressive, bold, and it pays off for this young, energetic Chelsea. Playing like this against Barcelona, openly on the front foot, not allowing Barcelona to control the ball at all. But with this approach, Barcelona did have numerical superiority on the opposite flank. If Lewandowski managed to hold up the ball, he could turn the attack around, because Cucurella had to defend in those moments against Yamal and an additional Barcelona player. If they managed to shield the ball and play the pass, it could easily lead to a goal. In fact, in this episode, the pass was played, but it didn't reach its target. But such situations did happen. Barcelona also had their moments. It would be strange to deny that. But there was a very interesting moment in the 42nd minute that shows how well organized Chelsea's pressing was. If something went wrong, one Chelsea player immediately confronted another about the mistake. This was probably the first moment when Gusto didn't go press the Barcelona left back. You can see Gusto highlighted. Instead of immediately sprinting forward and pressing aggressively, closing down the Barcelona left back from two sides, Gusto reacted too slowly, giving the Barcelona player extra time to think. And immediately a verbal exchange happened between Chelsea players. Thankfully, it wasn't like in the Everton-Manchester United match, where an Everton player got a red card for arguing with his own teammate. Here, it was more like a correction, which is a good sign. Because of Chelsea's pressure, Barcelona created very little in terms of constructive play and mostly played uncharacteristic long balls. There was a typical pattern that often appears when he plays: simple long balls to him, with the striker dropping deeper, dragging the center back out of position, opening the depth, and allowing the winger to run in behind. That's how it's supposed to work. These passes didn't lead to anything today, although there were a few attempts. Another interesting detail: Lewandowski sometimes didn't even try to play the ball. He just ran at the ball and let it go past him to surprise the defense, so the ball would reach the space for his teammate. This is quite unusual for Barcelona, who normally build short from the back, not just hitting long balls from their own penalty area. This shows the level of Chelsea's press and preparation. Barcelona also pressed Chelsea in a 4-1-4-1 shape, but here the nuances matter. A similar pressing situation, but Sanchez, Chelsea's goalkeeper, already has a passing option on the flank, and no one is closing left back. Absolutely no one. Barcelona's defenders did not push high to press Chelsea's fullbacks individually. In Barcelona's system, width responsibility belonged to the winger. And here we see the Barcelona right winger shifting outside to block the passing lane to Cucurella, which opens space in the center where the Chelsea player can carry it forward on the dribble. Then followed a pass to Cucurella, who receives the ball facing the opponent's goal and can already develop and continue the attack. Another characteristic feature of Barcelona in this match was their high defensive line. Sometimes it's roulette, high risk, high reward. After a series of rebounds, Chelsea regained possession, and Chelsea player has a chance to play a through ball. Look at what the Barcelona defender is doing here. He runs back to defend the depth, but at the same time tries to stop abruptly in a counter movement to catch the striker offside. This didn't always work. Sometimes the striker remained onside, plus the passing lane stayed open. Most of the time, it was Barcelona's right back Koundé who dropped the offside line. He was the one reading the whole situation, seeing the full picture, and understanding that someone needed to save the team from this extremely high defensive line. Very often, it was Koundé who managed to track back and prevent Chelsea players from receiving the ball comfortably, forcing them to shoot under pressure. Like in this episode, for example, and Chelsea had plenty of opportunities to attack the depth. Here Estevao receives the ball in the center of the pitch, facing the opponent's goal. Again, there's an open corridor for the pass and a huge space between the two center backs for that pass to go through. Ideally, the Chelsea striker should position himself slightly closer to Barcelona's right center back. Why? Because it increases the passing corridor. And then the left center back has a lower chance of intercepting the ball by simply sticking out a leg. But the pass didn't follow. Here I want to highlight how free the wide area is. Barcelona often compressed extremely narrowly into the center. We can see how narrow both fullbacks are, which leaves huge space on the wings. And why did this space appear? Because teams were constantly attacking the depth behind those fullback zones. And here's another moment. Koundé, Barcelona's right back, has to track this run. Three players are playing their own game, trying to hold the offside line, and only one, Koundé, is actually watching his direct opponent, seeing him run into the depth, understanding there will be no offside regardless of how the others hold the line. And obviously, if Koundé also tried to hold a high line here, Barcelona would have conceded 2 to 3 more goals. But no, Koundé avoids trying to set up an offside trap. He fully tracks Chelsea's runners and often ends up defending in the zone of the left back, which leaves his flank open very often. This is how it happened. Chelsea were also not shy about playing first-time balls into the depth. They knew Barcelona's defensive line was high, so they were just sending the ball forward without even looking. And sometimes it worked. Here we see Enzo receiving the ball and simply playing a one-touch pass into the depth for the runner. This type of blind, instinctive pass into space, I mostly see it from Chelsea, and it looks really interesting. Defensively, one of Chelsea's biggest threats was, of course, Yamal, and Chelsea shut him down with everything they had. 2 players always on him. Look how close they stay. There is always cover behind. 2 players engage with Yamal plus an extra layer of support, and Yamal basically created nothing. Another non-memorable match, just walking around, raising his arms, complaining to the referee. Look at Estevao taking the corner. He simply carries the ball, reads the situation, and immediately makes a pass. This is the 3rd minute of the match. How many Barcelona players weren't ready for the corner? I highlighted 4 players who aren't even looking at the ball. So Chelsea have a 4v2 advantage in the short routine, with 2 passing options, Cucurella in the half space and Reece James on the edge of the box. A cross followed, a series of rebounds, a handball by a Chelsea player, and the goal was disallowed. But life teaches Barcelona nothing. Look at the very next set piece from Chelsea. Estevao is adjusting something, his boots, his socks, pretending he's not focused on the corner at all. Barcelona players fall for it. Look at the 4 players marking individually, chatting, looking away with their backs turned. Meanwhile, the ball is already in play. Again, a 4v2 on the flank for Chelsea. But this time, Chelsea executed it better. The pass goes directly to Cucurella in that completely open half space. Cucurella is not offside because the Barcelona defender's foot keeps him on. Cucurella receives the ball, fires a strong, low cross. There's a series of rebounds, a shot, another deflection, and the ball goes into the net off a Barcelona player. The point is not who gets credited with the goal. This was a complete collapse from Barcelona's players. They just switched off in the moment, and not for the first time. And the final, probably fatal moment for Barcelona was the red card. Cucurella did everything perfectly. He plays a quick 1-2, lays it off, immediately creates a passing lane, and does it twice in a row. Two fast 1-2s with his teammate, attacking the depth. And yes, this is where Araújo just brings him down. He receives a yellow, but it's his second one. Red card. Now let's look at Araújo's first yellow card. Barcelona are attacking, and here we have what you could call a borderline moment, or just a normal, non-foul challenge from Cucurella against Yamal. And people didn't like it. Yamal didn't like it. A lot of Barcelona fans didn't like it. But now watch what happens when play is stopped. Look at the reaction from Barcelona's captain, Araújo. This is exactly how you shouldn't behave. He walks up to the referee and literally puts his forehead into the referee's face. Be grateful you didn't get sent off right there. This is pure childishness. A captain simply cannot behave like this and put his team in danger. The second yellow was deserved, but the first one was just a fatal moment of stupidity. And after that, the entire game changed. Chelsea completely dictated the play and controlled the match. Barcelona couldn't even string together the simplest passes in the second half. Here a pass is made, and a Chelsea player immediately intercepts it. Estevao shows phenomenal dribbling technique, carries the ball inside, and finishes at the near post. And the third goal came when Barcelona pushed higher to press. There's a sequence of duels, a series of rebounds, and Chelsea come out on top every time, launching a 5 versus 4 attack. Another interesting moment worth pointing out, again, the high defensive line, and this kind of situation appears. Here, first of all, the Chelsea striker is in an offside position. Second, the correct decision for Koundé here would have been to step out aggressively and engage the ball carrier. Why? Because you don't give him time to think. You force him into a decision. Plus, you have support. Even if he beats you, you have 2 cover options behind you. But instead, Barcelona's defenders just drop back, retreating, opening up a perfect passing lane. Enzo receives the ball there and rolls it for Liam Delap, who scores the final goal of the match. Today, Maresca showed and proved that this young, energetic, aggressive Chelsea can absolutely compete with top European clubs right now. Make sure to like the video, share your opinions about the match in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more football analysis content.